Good evening and welcome to this edition of the Speakers and Leaders Hour. This is the program that comes into your home once a month on the first Tuesday and is on from 7 to 8 p.m. on cable channel 57 or Verizon 27. And we're here every month to talk about our two favorite subjects, parliamentary procedure and Toastmasters. And now tonight, this program is entirely going to be devoted to Toastmasters. We have the old-style Toastmaster emblem hanging behind me. You can't quite see it, but it's there for sure. And tonight, rather than having people from just one club, we have drawn people from various clubs in the Fort Wayne area. So you're going to get an experience of hearing what different clubs do, how different people speak, what kind of programs they have. In fact, every last one of these members is not only a member of the Advanced Speakers and Leaders Club, which meets on Monday night, they are also a member of another club here in the Fort Wayne area in Division B. There are 7 of us here out of our vast membership, and they have chosen to be here tonight to share with you their knowledge of Toastmasters by showing not only their skill, but what Toastmasters can do for you, and to give you an idea of what a Toastmaster program is actually all about. I am delighted to announce and introduce to you the people who are on the program tonight, starting on my left, your right, that is Mr. Tom Haller. Tom is the past president of Anthony Wayne Toastmasters, the current president of the Parliamentary Society, a past Area 24 governor, Area 23 governor, 24, yes, okay. And next to Tom is the young lady, and her name is Patricia Knaebe. Patricia is the immediate past Division B governor, and she served that for 2 full terms, and I think you were area governor 2 years before that. So you've been in the leadership track for quite some while now. Yes, okay. And then the torch is always passed on to new people, and the next lady I'd like to introduce is a new person to our program, a lady named Adrienne Maurer. She is an area governor here in Fort Wayne, and she is part of Area 21. Adrienne Maurer, thank you for coming tonight. It's always good to see you.
Thank you, Dave.
And last but not least, on this side of the table is our favorite little elf of a lady, Marlene Purdy, who we never know if she's going to be here or not, but when she shows up, she always adds a little bit of sparkle. Tonight, she's going to be serving as timer, but in the past, she has certainly served for a lot of duties in Toastmasters, not only here in Indiana, but over in Ohio, where she was past District 28 governor, which is a very high-ranking office. Okay, that takes care of the left side of the table. Now, on the other side of the table, we have a couple of young ladies, and the first one is Kristal Heffley. Kristal is serving this year as an area governor, and she is area governor for, let me see. Oh, no. She was area governor last year. She's Division B governor this year. Kristal, thank you for being here tonight. Okay. And next to Kristal is Jeanine Herald. Jeanine has her own special talents and skills, and we're going to hear about those later in the program. But that forms the panel for the Toastmaster meeting that we're going to share with you now. And of course, the first thing we have to have is a Toastmaster. And being the head of the show, I have elected to serve in that position. Talk about deposition, ha ha ha. Anyway, I'm going to be the Toastmaster. And the next person I'd like to introduce will be our general evaluator, and she will tell you who her team is. And that person is Jeanine Herald. Jeanine, please.
Thank you, Dave. And so today we have a very nice team of evaluators to evaluate the speeches and the topic session. Patricia Knaebe will be evaluating Kristal's speech. Kristal Heffley will evaluate Adrienne Maurer's speech, and Adrienne Maurer will evaluate Patricia Knabe's speech. And then, Dave, you will be evaluating the topic session today. So that is our team of evaluators.
And do you have a timer tonight?
And our timer is Marlene Purdy.
And for the timing this evening, the speeches are all 5 to 7 minutes, and they'll get the green light at 5 minutes. They will get the yellow. They look like stoplights, but they're actually discs. At 6 minutes, and at 7 minutes, the red signal. For table topics, they will go from 30 seconds to a minute. They'll get the green paddle at 30 seconds, the yellow paddle at 40 seconds, the red paddle at 50 seconds, because they better be wrapping it up at that point, and at 60 seconds, I'll start leading the applause, and that's stop.
All right. Thank you, Marlene, and thank you, Jeanine. That is your team. I'm sure we'll hear more from you later. Okay, and ladies and gentlemen, on with the program. As pointed out, we do have 3 terrific speakers tonight, and the very first speaker that we're going to have has been around Toastmasters now for over 7 years. He belongs to the Summit Civic Club. She's speaking from our basic manual. Now, we start out with a project book. It has 10 projects in it, so she has advanced to project number 6, and that is vocal variety. Aside from that, she is also an advanced communicator silver, so that means she's done this project book at least once before and is going through it again. With a title of My Summer is Coming to an End, please welcome Kristal Heffley.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests at home. Summer is my favorite season, and I mourn it coming to an end. I equate summer to freedom, to warmth, to being carefree, summer vacation, and on and on. As it is, though, all good things must come to an end. It doesn't have to be that way, though. Autumn, it's not so bad. And really, when you come to think about it, it's kind of nice. The weather is perfect for camping and for being outdoors. Sometimes you just have to dress a little warmer. It's great for campfires, where you can roast hot dogs and toast marshmallows. And who doesn't want an occasional s'mores? Think about sitting in front of that campfire and gazing at all of those flickering colors. You have the reds, the oranges, the yellows, the blues. It's hypnotic. Even the change of the color in the leaves. It's nature's miracle. Fall festivals and Thanksgiving get-togethers give us even more cause to celebrate. Really, there's a lot to be said for the changing of the seasons, even when winter rolls around. Now, I know that not a lot of us look forward to the cold and to the adverse driving conditions, but with a little attitude adjustment and a can-do attitude, we can overcome. Think about what it is that you don't like about a season. Is it the cold? Is it the adverse driving conditions? Dreary grayness? Hot humidity? Or you fill in the blank? Now think about what we can do to make it more bearable. As far as the cold, maybe we could dress a little warmer. Dreary grayness. Maybe we could surround ourselves with bright, vibrant colors or invest in a sun lamp. I hear those are really helpful to improve the mood in wintertime. As far as driving conditions, we could plan ahead and leave the house earlier so that we can beat the traffic, or if it has to do with a lack of confidence in your driving ability, you can set aside some time where you're not in a hurry and there's not a lot of people around, maybe in a vacant parking lot, and practice driving in the snow and the ice. over time and with repetition, you can get better and you can improve upon your skills. Trying different things to improve your attitude and improve your skills can help immensely. Sometimes we just need a little inspiration and a little courage to try and do things a little differently. Find something in everything to enjoy. Find your happiness in the seasons, whether it's warmth, beauty, or tantalizing tastes, such as caramel apples in the fall, hot chocolate with melted marshmallows in the winter, or ice cream all year long. Even if building snow forts is not your cup of tea, appreciate those who do find enjoyment in it. Observe what it is that they like about building snow forts. Maybe even take part in it. Who knows? You might find yourself a new hobby. Maybe even a new passion. Alternatively, plan a vacation. Give yourself that escape. Then hopefully when you come back, you'll be recharged and ready to take on adversity once again. It's all in the state of mind. Plan on waking up every morning and facing head on what it is you don't like. Whether it's the cold, the adverse driving conditions, the dreary grayness, the hot humidity, and laugh at it. Shake your fist at it. Don't let it have the power over you to affect your mood or to zap you of your energy. You are stronger than that, and convince yourself of it. As much as I'm going to miss my summer, I know that the other seasons all have something very special to offer. My summer will be here next year at this time, which will make me appreciate it all that much more. For now, I will be strong and I will embrace the changing seasons, as I hope you will too. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Kristal. What an inspiring speech. My goodness gracious. That made us feel good, made us appreciate summer, and I guess kind of appreciate winter too. Thank you so much. That was really wonderful. Our next speaker is going to be Adrienne Maurer. She is also speaking from the basic manual, and that's project number 10. And that project is to inspire your audience. So if you were going through the manual for the first time, you developed gestures and vocal variety and eye contact and construction. And so this 10th speech would be one to inspire your audience. She's also an ATM Gold, as well as I told you earlier, the area governor for Area 21. Her speech is entitled Finding Confidence. Please welcome Adrienne Maurer.
Fellow Toastmasters and audience at home, confidence. Confidence. When I was a kid, I had none of it. I was not a confident person at all. Oh, I had friends, and I was good in school. I played a little sports, dabbled in music, but I was not confident. You knew which kids were confident. They were the ones that got invited to every single party, and they had lots of friends. As I got older, the confident kids were there. They were the ones that spoke eloquently in class. They were the speakers of my class. They were in speech and debate. And of course, they became the class officers. The confident kids followed me to college. They were there too. They were the ones who excelled in every class. They were the ones to raise their hand whenever something came up that they knew. They were the ones who did their best. And I wanted that. I was not a confident person. When I got to the workplace, they got there ahead of me. They were there already. The supervisors, the managers, and most importantly, the employees who would speak up at every meeting. They always had wonderful ideas. They would always speak very eloquently, and they knew exactly what they wanted to say, and they were very good about getting their point across. But that was not me. My shyness and my lack of confidence held me back in my career. I thought people with confidence, they were born that way. It was an innate trait that came with them. And because I was not born with that, I would never be a confident person. I didn't know where to look to find confidence. And then one day, about 15 years ago, I heard that there was a group forming at my company. It was a club called Toastmasters. Never heard of Toastmasters. I had no idea what it was for, but I liked joining clubs, so I showed up to the first organizational meeting so that I could find out what exactly a Toastmaster is. And what did I find? I found a room full of people just like me. People who lacked confidence and who wanted to improve themselves. And I found out that Toastmasters is a way for people to become better speakers and leaders. Okay, I could probably do that. So I went to the meetings, and I had to pass my first hurdle, giving my first speech. The first speech that you give as a Toastmaster is supposed to be the easiest one you'll ever give. You're going to talk about yourself. It's short. It's a subject that you know well. You don't have to prepare very hard for it. Piece of cake. My first speech was a train wreck. My heart was beating so fast I thought you could hear it while I was standing up in the front. I was sweating. My hands were shaking. I was holding on to my piece of paper with my speech written on it, and I was shaking. I wrote my speech completely down on paper, and I stood there at the lectern, and I read it, word for word, to make sure I didn't leave anything out. It was horrible. I couldn't wait to sit down. And then comes the next part. You get to be evaluated by someone who knows what they're doing. And I was sure she was going to tell me, just give it up. Go home. It's not for you. And when she spoke, what I heard was not criticism, but praise. She liked my smile. I didn't even know I was smiling. It was all a blur. I had no idea I had even done that. She said I projected, that I had a nice, strong, clear voice. I didn't know that was important. That's just something that I do already. Oh, wait. I do that already. I don't have to work hard at projecting my voice. I can do that already. Having that first evaluation and getting that feedback, telling me that I'm doing things well, gave me the strength to come back. Had it not been for that positive evaluation, that would have been the last time you'd ever seen me at a Toastmasters meeting. But I did come back, and that was 15 years ago. I've received a lot from being a Toastmaster. I've gained confidence that I would never have had otherwise. I've been a community leader. I've sat with the mayor on many occasions. I've been a neighborhood leader. I've been asked to speak at conferences and at dinners, all because of the confidence that I've gained from being in Toastmasters. Toastmasters, that's a caring, encouraging environment to help people become better speakers and leaders. If you want to become more confident at anything, you have to practice. And Toastmasters is the way that you can practice confidence. You don't have to be born with it. You can learn how to be confident as long as you know where to turn to help. And Toastmasters is that place where you get the help. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Adrienne. What a commercial for Toastmasters. Wow, that was one that could really inspire somebody out there. So, by the way, this is a call-in show. The number's 422-3902. If you happen to want to talk to us, ask the question, perhaps you know somebody on the panel, give us a call. We would love to hear from you. In the meantime, we have one more speaker this evening. Her name is Patricia Knaebe. She's speaking from the Basic Manual, project number 10. She, as I said, our past division governor for the past 2 years. She also is speaking from the same communication manual, and she's also speaking on the subject of inspiring your audience. And her topic is, and this is so important, and this works not only for Toastmasters, but for life, for your family. Make customer service your priority. Please welcome Patricia.
Thank you, Master Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and most welcome guests at home. How many of you have had an exceptional customer service experience? How many of you have had an experience that's not quite as exceptional? We have all had these experiences, and my hope this evening is to speak with those Toastmasters here at this table and the Toastmasters who are watching tonight about how impactful positive customer service is when we have guests walk into our clubs. I want to inspire other club members to be the first to greet a guest, to be the first to explain our methodology. What does a CC manual do? What does a CL manual do? What's the difference between the two? But before I get there, I'd like to share a personal experience with you, unrelated to Toastmasters. This last weekend, I was in Michigan, and I was visiting my mom. My sister joined me. We had a bonding weekend of eating out and shopping. It was a wonderful experience, very relaxing. We were in a particular store, which will remain unnamed, and I went to the jewelry counter because I like little baubles. I love bracelets and earrings and necklaces, and I was in a shopping mood. I was patiently standing at the counter, and the sales associate was on the phone with her back turned to me. She turned over her shoulder. As she did so, she said, "Do you want something?" And I said, "Yes, I would like to look at these bracelets. In your case, please." "Well, can I reach them? Is it close to the phone? Can I reach them from me being on the phone?" I said, "I don't think so. They're over here and you're way over there." "Well, can you go look around the store for a little while and maybe come back and I won't be so busy?" And I said, "As a matter of fact, I see my mom and my sister standing at the exit waiting, and we're leaving." Wait, I'll get somebody else for you." I said, "I don't think so. Thank you anyway." And I walked out of the store without a purchase. I know many of you are sitting there nodding, whether you're at the table here or at home, and you're thinking, oh my gosh, I've had that experience. I know what that feels like. And I want to relate that experience to Toastmasters, because that experience was an aha moment. How do we treat people when we might be just a little bit preoccupied? When the VP of membership is busily getting out the guest book and getting out the guest packets, head down, busy, does the VP of membership remember to look up to see if a guest is walking in the door and greet the guest? What about the sergeant at arms who is busy setting up the room, making sure the equipment is perfect? Does the sergeant at arms stop to make sure that if a guest is walking in, that guest is greeted appropriately? I can give an example for every one of the club officers and also for club members coming in, trading manuals with each other, talking about their week, socializing with each other. Because guess what, ladies and gentlemen, we all get into a routine. And we all forget when we get busy that there might be somebody in the room who is scared, who has never been to a Toastmasters meeting, who is there for confidence building, who is there to check things out. How often do we forget to greet that person warmly? Have the person sign the guest book. Not only give that person a guest packet, but open up the guest packet and walk through every one of the great items that are in that packet. How many times do we welcome that guest back and say to that guest, it's been wonderful having you here. We want to have you come back. Will you come back and be a guest again? And incidentally, you can be a guest as long as you would like to be a guest. You don't need to join right away if you're not sure. But please come back and visit us. We value your presence at our club. As division governor, I did get to see some interesting aspects of greeting guests. I saw one president of a club say to some guests, "Oh, you don't want to go to that club. That's a lousy club." We in Toastmasters don't say things like that. We don't badmouth other clubs. We shouldn't anyway. Because guess what? That guest might not come back to us. That reflects badly on us. We want to make sure as Toastmasters we are friendly, we are open, we are giving of time and information to our guests. We want to ensure that our guests come back to us, whether they join our club or join another Toastmasters club. Isn't it all that matters is that that guest got a positive impression and that guest was so sold on Toastmasters, that guest decided to become a member and stayed for as long as somebody like Adrienne Maurer, 15 years. Master Toastmaster.
Thank you, Patricia. The amazing thing about when you put a Toastmaster program together is your speakers are assigned ahead of time. They choose their own topics. They're not told what to talk about. And yet, all three of these speeches tonight seem to interlink to help share the Toastmaster experience or just life experience altogether. And now we've reached about the halfway point in the show where we usually shift gears and go into the parliamentary section. But what I think we're going to do now is just take a little bit of a break and finish our drinking our water, and then we'll go on and we'll have the topic session and evaluations. So let's have the break right now.
Thank you very much. And now for our next speaker, Stanley Litzner.
Speaking in public doesn't have to be a death sentence. At Toastmasters, we can help you overcome your fears.
I'd like to begin tonight with a little joke. This guy, he's a farmer. He says, "Hey, hello, sorry." But seriously, folks.
Speaking in public is no joke.
Doctor says, chicken says.
For help, call Toastmasters, the public speaking support group.
The chicken.
All the education in the world won't help you get ahead in life if you can't express your ideas effectively. Every day, competition for advancement gets tougher and tougher. You need an edge. A Toastmasters club can give you that edge. A low-cost learning experience for men and women. Toastmasters gives you the confidence to express your ideas to anyone. Get the Toastmasters edge.
What future do you envision for yourself? What dreams do you have? If you want your dreams to come true, you must have confidence in yourself and your abilities. A Toastmasters Club can help you build that confidence. A low-cost learning experience for men and women. Toastmasters shows you how to express yourself clearly and effectively. Make your dreams a reality. Join a Toastmasters Club.
I like this section. Oh, that was quick. Okay. Well, welcome back, and here we are for the second half of the Speakers and Leaders Hour, where we are featuring a Toastmaster Club using members from the Advanced Speakers and Leaders Toastmaster Club here in Fort Wayne. And now we're going to go on with what is called the topic session, where those who were given a chance to give a full-blown speech have a chance to speak for 1 minute. And I'd like to welcome our topic master, Mr. Tom Haller.
Thank you, Mr. Wilkins, fellow Toastmasters, and everybody out there in TV land. Now, in a more typical meeting, the topic questions would be directed to those who did not have a speaking part in the evening. Since pretty much everybody's going to have a speaking part, well, they may get a topic question too. I'm really wondering about all the construction work going on in Fort Wayne. You never know how long to allow. It's beginning to wear on me and get on my nerves. Kristal, is it worth it? Will it ever come to an end? Give us your opinion on all this construction.
Mr. Topic Master, fellow Toastmasters, guests at home. As far as all of the construction, fortunately, sorry, Tom, but I don't really have to deal with it because I take country roads pretty much to get to wherever I want to go, and then I avoid places where they're doing construction. But yes, there are the times when I'm trying to go downtown, and there it is, and you want to get to where you want to go that much quicker, and you're delayed, and it's frustrating. Yes, it will come to an end, not soon enough as we would like, but it will come to an end at some point, Mr. Topic Master.
On the same topic, somebody of authority and with the ability to spend money has decided that our future lies in roundabouts. Adrienne, are roundabouts the future of Fort Wayne? Are they a good thing? Will old people like me ever learn to negotiate them? Tell us what you think.
Mr. Topic Master, fellow Toastmasters and guests at home, roundabouts. I would have to say you either love them or you'll hate them. If you love them, they're supposed to be a great way to calm traffic. They're supposed to be very effective when you have an intersection that has an uneven amount of traffic from one direction or another, and it's an easy way for people to get around quickly. What I'm concerned about is, where am I going to ride my bike? I bike pretty much everywhere I want to go. I bike to work. I bike to coffee. I bike to the grocery store. And I'm a little concerned about people going through the roundabout when I'm on my bike. So I just hope that however we decide to do roundabouts in the city, that everybody pays attention to the little old lady on the bike. Mr. Topics Master.
All right, one more question about the road situation, the construction situation. A mutual friend of many of ours went 10 miles an hour too fast through the work zone. For that, he got a $440 fine. Is this rational? Patricia, give us your opinion on this outrage. Don't want to give any hints or anything, but...
Thank you, Master Table Topics Master, fellow Toastmasters, and guests at home. $440 for 10 miles an hour through a work zone? Speaking as a heavy-footed driver, I find this to be abominable. I am able to get from Fort Wayne to Indianapolis to governor meetings for Toastmasters in roughly an hour and a half because of the way I like to speed. So no, I don't think $440 is at all fair for going 10 miles an hour in a work zone. Master Table Topics Master.
Having ridden with her on many of these trips, I can assure you it's true, but I always felt safe and secure. All went very well. Now, one of the problems with turning the lectern over to someone, you never know what will happen next. They might do anything outrageous. I am now going to push Anthony Wayne's open house, which is September 25th, the last Thursday of the month. It'll be at the South Ivy Tech campus in the auditorium, and we are expecting great things. We're really looking forward to it. Now, I think having said that, it would be only fair to invite somebody, I don't know who yet, from the Bob Lyman Club to plug their open house. I know, let's do Marlene Purdy.
Thank you, Mr. Topic Master, fellow Toastmasters, and all of you at home who I hope will come and join us. The problem is, you caught me off guard, and I forgot the date. It's in September, and it's our second meeting in September, so it would be the fourth Monday of September. Does somebody have a calendar handy? I wasn't expecting that question, and
that's kind of the nature of tabletop.
I know, but you caught me off guard on a date. But it is the fourth Monday of September. And we are going to have a guest night open house at the Northcrest Pizza Hut. And the meeting itself will start promptly at 6:30. Oh, I have a calendar. Thank you. It is September the 22nd. We come early so we can eat because there's good food there. But the meeting itself will start promptly at 6:30. If you want to come before that and enjoy the rest of the company of the members in dining first and then having the Toastmasters meeting, we would most certainly welcome you September 22nd, 6:30, Northcrest Pizza Hut for the Bob Lyman Toastmasters Guest Night Open House. Mr. Topic Master. And I had the advantage. I was the timer, so nobody timed me.
I wouldn't count on that. Now, I think we have time for one more table topic. I'm not sure who to give this to, but we're running low on people. I was wondering if somebody might give us one little incident of something unique and just plain different about Malaysia. I know, let's call on Jeanine Herald. For those of you who don't know, she has just done a most excellent job of representing the District 11 in the International Speech Contest in Malaysia.
Thank you, Tom. Yes, I just got back from Malaysia where I had a great time. It was such an honor to represent this district in the International Speech Contest. I did not come home with a particular award, but I did come home with wonderful experiences, and it was a wonderful learning experience. We did have time for a little bit of sightseeing, and my husband and I really enjoy cultural activities, so we had the opportunity to visit a Buddhist temple, a Hindu worship site, and the National Mosque, where I had the opportunity, had to wear a burqa and a scarf. So that made for some interesting pictures as well. And so we also got to see a number of other good sites in Kuala Lumpur. So that's my 45-second report on Malaysia. Thank you, Mr. Toppingmaster.
Thank you. And let me assure you, no one worked harder preparing for that speech. She really gave it her all. Now it's time for me to return control to our Toastmaster, Dave Wilkins. Take it away, Dave.
Thank you very much, Tom. Those were really good questions for a topic session. They can just be on anything that you want, and you just pick something not only topical, but that worked for each of the individuals that you chose to have answer a question. Okay, it's time for the most important portion of the Toastmaster meeting. It's the evaluation. Now, you can give speeches till the cows come home, but to find out how you really did and to make you feel better about it, you have to have what we would call an evaluation, which should be an experienced Toastmaster telling you what you did well and where you might improve next time. We have a leader for that section of the program, so we're going to recall Jeanine Herald and have her be the general evaluator.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Today, we had the opportunity to listen to several speeches. We heard an interesting speech about how we might look at the seasons, how we might process how we feel about seasons. We also heard two very inspiring speeches from Adrienne and Patricia, both of them dealing with what Toastmasters can do for a person and how we conduct our Toastmasters meetings. So those were wonderful speeches. And then at the end, we heard from Tom, who gave us a variety of different types of table topics that we could respond to. So now we will evaluate each of those. And I'm going to start with asking Patricia Knaebe to give us a little evaluation on Kristal Heffley's speech.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, guests at home, and especially Kristal. This speech was project number 6 from the Competent Communicator Manual, and it was about working with vocal variety. I think the topic selection was very good for facilitating vocal variety, simply because you had a lot of descriptive word pictures that allowed us to mentally visualize the different seasons and the positive aspects of the different seasons. You spoke with a varied rate. Your quality was very open, very friendly. Your pauses were appropriate. You were very expressive, Kristal. I thought your vocal variety added to the speech. Your ideas flowed beautifully, and the words that you used, as I said, were beautiful word pictures, very vivid, very descriptive. The limited amount of space we had was not conducive to great body language, unfortunately. If I had one thing I would say that might be done differently is practice working with your distance from the microphone, become a little bit more consistent with your distance from the microphone. There were times you were back here, there were times you were up here. Just try to be a little bit more consistent with that. But overall, a great job. As I said, wonderful word pictures, wonderful vocal variety, and I loved this speech. Thank you. Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you, Patricia. And so now we will ask Kristal to evaluate Adrienne Maurer's speech. Kristal.
Good evening again, everyone. Out there in the audience, Toastmasters, especially Adrienne. Her speech was called Finding Confidence. And I go through, there's different questions where you have to mark down whether it's excellent, satisfactory, could improve, and you make different comments. So the first one it talks about was the speech topic relevant to the occasion selected. I put between excellent and satisfactory because actually we were given an option. We could choose whatever we could talk about. Now, our theme was summer, and that's why I picked summer, but it was optional, so I guess we could say excellent. All right, and then did the speaker understand and express the feelings and needs of the audience? I thought you did a fantastic job. I thought that your speech was extremely well organized. You talked about yourself as a child and how you lacked confidence, and then you kind of show how you evolved and you got involved in Toastmasters, and you talked about how people basically they're afraid of public speaking, but you talked about your involvement for 15 years and how people are coming to you now to come give speeches at different events. You're a community leader, etc. And I find I have that too. So kudos to Toastmasters. Was the speaker forceful, confident, and positive? You did great. You did excellent gestures, eye contact. You're very good at connecting with your audience. You have great communication skills. Did you use stories, anecdotes, or quotes? Maybe not so much, but I felt like you used real-life examples of how, Toastmasters has helped you improve. Did your words convey strong, vivid images? Sure. Did the speaker's use of body language enhance message? Yes. Did it uplift the audience? Yes. What could the speaker have done differently to make the speech more effective? I guess back there where the question said use stories and anecdotes, maybe you could have threw a story in there. That's the only thing I can think of that you could improve upon your speech. Other than that, fantastic job, and I look forward to hearing your next speech, Adrienne.
Thank you, Kristal. And now, finally, we will ask Adrienne to give an evaluation of Patricia's speech.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, and guests at home. I was very pleased to evaluate Patricia's speech on making customer service your priority. And in this case, customer service is Toastmasters and the guests that come to our meeting. I thought it was a wonderful topic. Those of us who are involved in Toastmasters have all been through the experience of having guests come into your club, and what do you do when that guest arrives? Are you doing the things that you need to do to close the sale for that guest? I loved the personal story about the shopping. I have been there too. Watching someone on the phone or with their cell phone, or they're carrying on a conversation, and they're not looking at you as being their customer. They're looking at you as an annoyance. And I think that was a great personal story. I loved her phrase, we all get into a routine, when she was talking about how everybody is exchanging books and you're chit-chatting with each other and socializing and not paying attention to the most important person in the room, and that's your guest. I loved the gesture when she was talking about going through the guest packet. She stood here at the lectern and she was using her hand gestures to show us that she's going through that welcome packet. And I think because of space limitations, it was probably a little difficult to see those hand gestures. From where I was sitting, I could see it pretty well. And I think if it wasn't for the space that we were in, it could have been a little bigger gesture. But I did love thinking about how guests feel the first time they come to a meeting and how it's a little intimidating, and everybody in the club, not just the officers, needs to take that extra effort to make them feel at home and to have that positive impression. I thought it was a wonderful speech and really enjoyed it. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Adrienne. Finally, I will ask Dave, our Toastmaster, to come back up here and do an evaluation of our topic session. Dave?
Thank you very much, Jeanine, and ladies and gentlemen, and those who spoke in the topic session tonight, and Tom. Tom, as I mentioned earlier, those were great questions. You put a little bit of thought into those, and we talked about doing 5 questions. You had exactly that. It's time-wise, it's working out just perfect. Our first presenter was Kristal. You were asked about the construction in downtown Fort Wayne. You addressed the group. You had really good eye contact. You had some natural gestures. You do gesture a lot. I noticed that. I like that. You had good vocal variety. You were very entertaining and very enthused about what you had to say. Opening, body, and close in what you had to say, and a good job. Our second presenter was Adrienne, and you were asked also about construction, only specifically about the roundabouts. I really think that anybody that likes roundabouts has probably been to London, because they have more roundabouts there than I think anywhere else in the world. And just as a side note, if you happen to go to London and you're walking down the street and you're going to cross the street, you'd better look to your right, not your left, because you step off the curb, that one of those big red buses will flatten you in a heartbeat. You repeated the question. That's always a good thing to do, Adrienne. You were sincere. You had a lot of humor. You had a very good close. In addition, you had all the things going for you. They had the vocal variety, the gestures, the eye contact, and you did address the group. Patricia, talking about fines. I only put down 2 words, ironic and truthful. My wife has said that she has told me, come riding home with you, and it's sort of a white knuckle experience. But it was a good answer, and very sincere, Marlene, you spoke about the open house. You don't really get caught off guard very often, but even when you do, you're like a little pixie girl. Give me a calendar, she said. So you gave her a calendar, and she had this great smile, and you had a good opening body and close and got the right date out. Good job. And Jeanine, you were the last presenter. You were very enthusiastic. You gave a short summary of what you had to do or do, what you did do. Yeah, that too. You did a good job, is what you did. Thank you, Jeanine. And that concludes my topic evaluation, and I'll return control to our general evaluator. Jeanine.
Thank you, Dave. And as the final portion of our report for the general evaluation section, I will ask Marlene to come up and give us the timers report. Marlene?
Thank you, Jeanine. I must add something at the very beginning of Dave. I was incorrect with the date. After I asked for the calendar, I kept thinking it was in September. It is not until the second meeting in October. October 27th is our actual open house. It dawned on me after I did the table topics, wait a minute, it can't be in September. I'm going to be gone. And I knew that was the signal that I had to look for a different date. It is the 27th of October. So those of you who out there in TV land, please come to join us on October 27th. And now the timers report. The speakers had all requested 5 to 7 minutes. Kristal came in at 6 minutes 34 seconds. Adrienne, 6 minutes 31 seconds. And Patricia, 6 minutes and 26 seconds. You were all very close together. Table topics. Kristal, 39 seconds. It was supposed to be between 30 seconds and 1 minute. Adrienne, 56 seconds. Patricia, 55 seconds. I didn't get timed. Jeanine, 58 seconds, and that is my report. Jeanine.
Thank you, Marlene. Thank you, Marlene. And now I will turn the meeting back over to our Toastmaster and host of the show. Thank you very much, Dave.
Okay. Thank you very much, Jeanine. And you took my paper. There we go. Oh, no, you didn't. This is hers. Okay, I wanted to do a couple extra thank yous. We have our technical director tonight, who was Elizabeth Lord. Thank you, Elizabeth. Our audio tonight was done by Dennis Osborne. Dennis, you always do a good job. Thank you. We got 3 terrific camera operators. We had Robert Boyd, Don Rizwan, and Marty Stern. Of course, Access Fort Wayne right here and the Allen County Public Library. And if you want to do a TV show, you can come down here and do your own shows. Just come down and set up a time, and they'll show you how to do it. I particularly want to thank my cast tonight. Tom Haller, thank you so much for being here. It's always a joy to have you around. Also next to you is Patricia Knaebe. Patricia, thank you for being here. We hope to see you next month. And Adrienne, what did you think of tonight?
This was fun.
Would you like to do it again sometime?
Sure.
All right, okay. And Ms. Marlene, if you're here, what about you? Will you be here next month?
Yes,
Oh, okay, all right.
I do believe I will be.
Okay. And then
Dennis.
Dennis?
Did you?
I thought I mentioned Dennis, but I can do it twice because he's worth it. Dennis Osborne, our audio technician tonight, he done good. And on this side of the room, we have Jeanine Herald, the winner of the District 11 International Speech Contest, and our new division governor, freshly minted, Kristal Heffley. Thank you, each and every one of you, for being here. It's been a joy. You did a good job, and I'm sure that we'll have you all back if you can possibly do it. And it says I have 1 minute left. Well, I don't have anything to say, so we're going to quit a minute early. Goodbye. See you next time.